The technical interview can be a very daunting task for someone who has no experience in the IT world, or probably you have zero experience taking interviews. And given the fact that you go for an interview where you will be asked a lot of questions with respect to a particular technology, not just any kind of questions, but technical questions with respect to a particular technology where they want to know your experience using certain tools, it can be a very daunting task. So you must have the right skill set in taking interviews. In this video, I'll quickly share with you 5 tips that you can use to master the technical interview. You want to watch the video to the end to learn some of these tips and how you can use them in your next video. Hello guys, welcome to DevOps with Mike. In this channel, I share a lot of content related to DevOps, cloud computing, and a lot more content on how you can transition into IT, how you can effectively study IT, and of course, how you can get yourself ready for your next job. So you want to watch other videos in my YouTube channel with respect to similar content, and if you're not yet subscribed, hit the subscribe button to get subscribed and get updated with my new content. Now, how can you effectively master the DevOps or the cloud technical interview? How do you master the technical interview? My very first tip is to stay calm and be confident. A lot of people do not maintain the right composure when taking some of these technical interviews. They feel like maybe explaining concepts a lot faster can make them wow the recruiter, but that often is not the case. You want to stay calm and you want to stay confident, gently walking your recruiter or gently walking the interviewer through your thought process. Why do you think this particular solution is best? How do you make use of this solution? How do this solution solve a particular problem in your environment? How do you architect a similar solution if given a new environment use case? So you want to calmly explain your experience, or you want to calmly experience your thought process with a recruiter. There's no need rushing over things, because one common mistake people do is they go to the interviews, they are rushing themselves, or they are rushing calling so many technologies, and when they start asking you to further proof that you can master those technologies which you are calling, you'll definitely be dumbfounded. So stay calm, stay confident, walk the recruiter gently through your thought process. If you are even being asked a question when you don't have a response, you want to answer that question technically with what you have an understanding of, right? So if I'm being asked which tool can I use to store images or store my Docker images, if I have no experience working with Docker or using Docker Hub, I can walk the recruiter with my experience with Amazon Elastic Container Registry. So that way, I've not directly answered maybe a question related to Docker Hub, but I've given them a thought process on how I've used another similar tool, which is the Amazon Elastic Container Registry, to store container images. So stay calm and be positive and share your experience quietly and surely to the recruiter. Now, the second tip is you must know your basics. There's no way you're getting a job, or there's no way you're going through a technical interview without knowing your basics. I have a very common example. Someone went to an interview, they were calling a lot of technical stuff. I've created a Kubernetes cluster, I've created Docker images, pushed those images to the repository, I've written Terraform scripts and all of that. And they were asked a very basic question: how do you make a subnet public? And the person could not literally answer such basic questions, how you can make a private subnet or how you can make a subnet public. And just those basics gives a recruiter the impression that you probably don't know what you're talking about, or you probably are just fresh off from a boot camp. You must understand your basics. If you're on any cloud platform, be it Amazon Web Service Cloud, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, you want to have the right understanding of the foundational services. I'll always list the foundational services because you must know these foundational services to your fingertips. You must know services that have to do with access management. You know services that have to do with storage, compute, databases, networking, routing, content delivery like Route 3, and then configuration management. You must understand these basic services, because it's with these basic services that will give your recruiter the understanding that you know what you're talking about. And once you have a confidence around these basic services, of course, you have the right confidence needed to take your technical interview. So master most of the basics with respect to DevOps and cloud concepts. Now, the third tip I will recommend is to master using the STAR approach. The STAR approach: situation, task, action, result. Master the STAR approach in answering most questions which you come across. The STAR approach gives you the flexibility to easily walk someone through a problem from a situation standpoint to the moment where you had several tasks to implement in respect to that situation, and of course some of the actions which you implemented and the expected result which you obtained. So the STAR approach is one of the ways which you use to confidently navigate some key questions or some key asks that you have during your technical interview, because that way you easily walk the recruiter through your thought process. You know what situation was. Probably you were trying to configure a load balancer, or your load balancer field checks were not working. That's the situation. Probably you had an auto-scaling action to take place in your environment. That's the situation. Maybe you had to create a cluster that will be able to deploy some applications in your environment. That's the situation. And with such situation, what are the actions? Probably you started by creating a pod.yaml file, or you started by creating target groups for your load balancer and so on. And of course the result would have been, okay, you effectively implemented target groups, you set up some rules in your target group, in your load balancer, and with that you had the right routing taking place. So you walk the recruiter through the situation maybe you had in your environment, some of the tasks which you use, some of the actions you took, and of course the result. So master using the STAR approach to walk the recruiter through your thought process. Once again, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button, like this video, also leave a comment on any of the tips you find interesting. So again, I've mentioned some key tips. First, you must be able to stay calm and confident. Second, you must be able to know your cloud basics. And the third tip, use STAR approach to easily walk someone through your experience. Now, the fourth tip I'll share with you is learn from failures. Probably some people take first interviews, oh, they get unfortunate email. They take second interviews, oh, we forwarded another candidate. They get the third interview, sorry, I'm not a good fit, and so on. You should be able to learn from your failures. If you went for an interview and you were not selected for that role, you want to find out maybe why you were not selected for that particular role. If there's a possibility to reach back to the recruiter and find out from them maybe what some of the limitations were, you can do that. If not, during the interviews, I recommend, if you're having a device by your side, you want to record all your interviews. Once you're recording those interviews, you have an idea on interview questions that were asked. Some of the questions you might have an idea on, some you might not have an idea on, and once you keep a repository of some of these questions, the moment you come out from an interview, if it wasn't successful and you had a record of such interview, you take out time to master all the components that were being asked, such that in any subsequent interview, you will not be embarrassed by such similar questions. So you must be able to learn from your failures. I always tell people interviewing is a skill. Interviewing is a skill which you build. No matter the amount of concepts you have an idea, or no matter the amount of configurations you can do, if you cannot effectively interview, there's no way you're going to get a job. So you must master the skill of interviewing. And often, mastering the skill of interviewing entails you learn from your past failures. And lastly, your mindset matters. It's all in the mind. Your mindset matters. If you're going in for an interview with a mindset that I cannot get DevOps job, or this technical interview is going to be long, this technical interview, I'm not sure I'm ready, this technical interview, I don't know some of the requirements, you begin to put yourself in some state of doubt. Your mindset matters. If you're going for the interview, you must be able to stay positive, have the right mindset, understand the job description at hand, what are the requirements they have, what do you think, or what skill set do you have that can align with the requirements they have. And with that, you build the right mindset, you stay positive, you are being asked questions, walk them through your thought process around those questions, show your design skills, show your infrastructure as code skills, show your skills architecting solutions by staying positive and having the right mindset. And with such mindset, I believe you can have the right outcome in your interview. So master these tips, put these tips in practice, and I'm sure you'll be able to get your next job putting these tips in practice. Again, if you're not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button. Let me know in the comment section which tip you found interesting, and equally check out my other videos that have similar tips that can help you effectively prepare for your DevOps or your cloud related interviews. See you in my next video.